Coming up next, join Pooh and his friends as they teach children some simple but important safety tips in Too Smart for Strangers.
That sounds great! And now...
No matter what language you speak, a drawing can let others know exactly how you see the world. Hello, I'm Vincent Price. Welcome to Read, Write, and Draw. Today, we'll share some of the delightful ideas that we've received. But first, let's read the beginning of the story, The School Play. All week long, the children could talk of nothing else but the play tryouts at school. Mother listened as Eddie practiced lines for the role he wanted. She heard Eddie's younger sister, Amanda, practice the song that she'd sing at the tryouts. And Friday after school, Eddie and Amanda went to the auditorium full of children wanting a part in the play. "I want this more than anything," Eddie whispered to his sister. On their way home, Amanda said, "It's so hard waiting until Monday to find out who got what part." Monday morning, the children nearly ran to school. Outside the auditorium, they could see a group of children crowding around a poster tacked to the wall. It was a list of parts for the play. "You look for me," Eddie said to his sister. "I'm too nervous." Amanda joined the group of children reading the poster. She found her name. Hooray! She had the part of the fairy. She read and then she reread the list. Eddie's name was not on it. So let's see what Jennifer Trumbull from Danville, California. Let's see how she ends our story. "My name," Eddie said. "It wasn't on the list, was it?" All of a sudden, the school bell rang and the children headed for their classrooms. "I'm really sorry, Eddie," exclaimed Amanda. Later, Amanda talked to the school play director. "I'm really sorry, Amanda. Your brother just isn't capable enough of doing this play." Well, after school, Amanda saw Eddie run out of the class. "I got picked out to be co-director of the school play," said Eddie. "Isn't that great? That's terrific, Eddie. I've learned that sometimes you're not cut out to do everything." "Come on, let's go home, Eddie." Eddie learned an important lesson. Indeed, we're not all picked out to do everything, are we? Well, let's see how Jennifer has illustrated. Oh, this is a great one. Look at, she's left the door of the auditorium open. And when you open the door, you can see into the auditorium. You can see the stage. She's done a little landscaping around it, too. Very pretty. Oh, here's a really pretty name. Sky Armijo from Richland, Washington. And here's how Sky, I don't know whether it's a boy or a girl, but it's a pretty name anyway. "Eddie's not on the list. I am real sorry. But isn't it great that I got the part of the fairy?" "Yeah, I guess so. Aren't you glad?" "I told you, yeah. That stupid part didn't mean much to me." "Look, Eddie, I got my costume. Isn't it great?" "Yeah, it's perfect for a fairy." "What's the matter now?" "I guess I just wanted the part." "Well, there's always next year." "Yeah, I guess so." The night of the play, she was all ready to be a fairy, and even Eddie said that she looked great. When the play was over, Eddie didn't feel too bad. He knew that there would always be next year. I love that. Eddie's showing lots of determination, though. Anyway, he didn't want to play the part. Let's see how Sky, what a pretty name. Sky illustrated our story. There it is. I can't quite figure it out. But, I see the list. Yes, the list. It's a red schoolhouse, a little red schoolhouse. And Eddie's name isn't on the list. Everybody else's is. Thanks to all of you who have sent in your drawings and story endings. If you haven't sent one in yet, finish the story the way you'd like it to end, draw a picture, and send it to Read, Write, and Draw. Don't forget, there's a new story in every issue of the Disney Channel magazine. I'm Vincent Price. See you next time on Read, Write, and Draw.
Annette Funicello steps into the spotlight when the Disney Channel proudly presents the Always Annette Film Festival.
Me? Go on television?
Including the story of a young girl's dream to become a world champion equestrian.
Throw your heart over first, and then jump after it.
Horsemasters. It's the Always Annette Film Festival, exclusively on the Disney Channel. On the next Danger Bay, it's a fancy fundraiser for the aquarium.
It's one of the highlights of the season.
But the party panics when someone steals a priceless statue.
We are all suspects.
Doc Roberts plays detective.
This is a disaster.
On the next Danger Bay, he's crawled into the hearts of millions.
That's him, all right.
In a film that's become a Disney classic.
I never saw such a dog. You won't never see another one like him.
Fess Parker, Chuck Connors, Dorothy McGuire, and Tommy Kirkstar in the movie that your family will love to share, Old Yeller. The following presentation is closed caption for the hearing impaired.
Hello, I'm Sonny Melendrez. And coming up next is a very special program that you parents will want to sit down and watch with your kids. It's called Too Smart for Strangers. In the first part, Winnie the Pooh and his friends will tell you kids how to keep safe from strangers. And then I'll be back with a panel of experts to offer you parents some very special advice on how to keep your children safe. And now, Winnie the Pooh and Too Smart for Strangers. Hello, once again, I'm Sonny Melendrez. And what we'd like to do right now is to give you some very practical advice to you parents on how to keep your kids too smart for strangers. To do that, we have a very distinguished panel of guests, including Shayla Lever. Shayla is the director of the Child Abuse Prevention Department for the Los Angeles Unified School District and developer of its CARE program. Also with us is Dr. Herschel Swinger, director of the Southern California Child Abuse Prevention Training Center and director of the Family Crisis Center at Children's Institute International. With us also is Detective Gary Lyon, who's been with the Los Angeles Police Department for 17 years and an investigator in its Sexually Exploited Child Unit. And last but certainly not least, Jennifer Fay, who is the author of He Told Me Not to Tell and co-author of the highly acclaimed book No More Secrets, Protecting Your Child from Sexual Assault. Well, I certainly thank you all for being here with us, Jennifer, Herschel, Shayla, and Gary, and I hope that all of you out there, very concerned parents, and as myself, will take the time right now to sit down with your child and talk about what we've just talked about here on the Disney Channel and make them too smart for strangers. I'm Sonny Melendrez. Thanks for being with us.
Coming up next, Dick Van Patten and Gabe Kaplan team up to catch a giant runaway chicken in the Hoboken Chicken Emergency.
That sounds great! And now...
And now it's time for a Disney Channel College Bowl update. College Bowl, the varsity sport of the mind, is rich in storied tradition. It all began as a radio show in the 1950s, then moved on to national television for more than a decade. And now the tradition continues as the Disney Channel presents the 1987 College Bowl Championships, where 16 teams from across the country will battle it out at the Epcot Center in Orlando, Florida. Now let's go to Ted Dawson for this report.
Thanks, Jim. In the early days, College Bowl was famous for its strong traditional powers. But there was also the upset factor, and this year's tournament's no exception. We asked the captains of this year's schools which are the teams to beat in College Bowl 87.
Georgia Tech, no question about it.
Probably Georgia Tech. For people out there who are talking to their bookies, I'll go with NC State and the points.
Who's the team to beat in College Bowl 87?
We've played Georgia Tech before, and we were real impressed with them. We've heard some good things about Minnesota. I think they're going to be tough to beat.
Probably Minnesota looks like an awfully good team. Washington University, because they beat us 2 years ago. I'd have to go with Georgia Tech.
Who's the real team to beat?
Well, you know, when we went to these tournaments during the year, I think Slippery Rock College was the best out there, but since they're not in the tournament, it's anybody's ballgame.
Well, they're the favorites, but anything can happen in College Bowl 87, so we hope you'll join us every week right here on the Disney Channel. This is Ted Dawson saying so long until the next Disney Channel College Bowl update.